The sacrifice. I still hear the screams. Sometimes in my sleep, sometimes when it's too quiet. They weren't just screams of fear, they were something deeper. Like someone's soul was being ripped apart. I was 13 when it happened. My uncle, Nyameka, was the man everyone in the village respected. He had money, power, and a charm that made people want to be around him. But there was something about him that always made my stomach twist. His smile was too wide, his laughter too loud. It was like he was wearing a mask, and underneath was something dark. One rainy night, my cousin Obi and I were sent to fetch water from the stream. It wasn't unusual, the adults often sent us out for chores at odd hours. The stream was a good 20-minute walk, and the path was surrounded by tall trees that whispered in the wind. Obi was talking about a football match when we heard it. A low hum, like chanting. We froze. The sound was coming from the old abandoned hut near the stream. No one went near it. The elders said it was cursed, that spirits lived there. But the curiosity was stronger than our fear. Slowly, we crept closer, hiding behind the thick bushes. What I saw that night is something I'll never forget. Inside the hut was a dim glow from candles, their flames flickering like they were scared too. In the middle of the room was Nyameka, my uncle. He was shirtless, his body glistening with some kind of oil. Around him were strange symbols drawn in white chalk on the dirt floor. And then, there was the goat. Its legs were tied, its mouth gagged, and its eyes wide with terror. I should have run. But I couldn't move. Obi grabbed my arm, his grip so tight it hurt. We watched as Nyameka raised a knife, muttering words I didn't understand. He didn't hesitate. The blade came down, and the goat's cry was muffled but sharp, like it knew something worse was happening. But it wasn't just the goat. There was something else in the corner of the hut. A figure, small and trembling. A child. I didn't recognize him, but he looked no older than 7. His hands were tied, his face streaked with tears. That's when Nyameka turned. He looked right at us, his eyes dark like the night itself. "Who's there?" he barked, his voice slicing through the air. We ran. Obi and I bolted back to the village, our feet barely touching the ground. My heart felt like it would explode in my chest. But the moment we reached home, we knew we couldn't say anything. Who would believe us? Nyameka was untouchable. The next morning, the village was buzzing with news. A boy had gone missing. His parents were wailing, searching everywhere. I knew who he was now, the boy from the hut. But I stayed silent. Obi and I both did. Weeks passed, and the boy was never found. Nyameka went about his life like nothing had happened. But whenever he looked at me, I felt like he knew. Like he was daring me to speak. I didn't. Not until years later, when I moved far away from the village. Even then, I only told this story once, to a friend who begged me to share why I never went back home. I still wonder what would have happened if Obi and I had been caught that night. Would we have ended up like the boy? Or worse? Sometimes, late at night, I swear I can still hear the chanting, low and steady, like it's calling me back. But I never return. Not to that village. Not to him. And I pray no one else does either.